What's good, Steelers Nation? My name is Jack Sperry, and this is Steelers Talk. On today's show, I'm going to be doing part two of two here of my list of the top 10 Steelers players and coaches under the most pressure heading into the 2023 season. If you missed part one, where I go over numbers 10 through 6, you can find that on yesterday's video. We're going to put the link to that video in the comments and description of today's video. And then if you don't want to miss any of our videos moving forward, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join our family here at Steelers Talk. We're going to be covering all 17 games of the Steelers schedule in 2023 live via our live watch parties here on the channel. So if you want that, plus daily and free Steelers content on your Pittsburgh Steelers here, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. All right, so if you missed yesterday's video, I went over the first part of this kind of list, this top 10 list of players that I think have the most pressure on them heading into 2023. In yesterday's video, I went over TJ Watt, George Pickens, Allen Robinson, Alex Highsmith, and Calvin Austin III. That round out numbers 10 through 6. Now, without further ado, let's get into the top 5 here, starting with number 5, and that is cornerback Patrick Peterson, the biggest free agent addition, arguably, for the Steelers this year. He's coming in to be that cornerback one in Mike Tomlin and Teryl Austin's defense this year. And the reports that are coming out of Pittsburgh right now is that Pat Pete is going to be playing a lot of nickel corner this year in Teryl Austin's defense, where he's going to be playing pretty much a nickel star position. Now, if you're not familiar with what a nickel star does, it's pretty much a roamer in the middle of the defense from the nickel. That's what Jalen Ramsey played in the Rams defense for many years before this year. And right now, Patrick Peterson, who has only played outside in his entire NFL career, is now going to be kicking inside when the Steelers go to their nickel packages, which in the modern NFL is quite frequently. Now, given Peterson's instincts in zone coverage, last year played in a very cover 4, cover 6 heavy Vic Fangio style of defense there with the Minnesota Vikings, had 5 interceptions. So this guy can still ball. He's still very much a ball hawk, and he can get interceptions. And I think this is a perfect fit for what he is able to do physically, with what he's able to do in terms of his football knowledge. Being able to read opposing quarterbacks' eyes and just go make plays is exactly what Patrick Peterson does best in his game, and now Mike Tomlin is putting him in a position to succeed, and I cannot wait to see what he does in 2023. And as for Patrick Peterson, he's going to be looking to prove this year that he can still be a number 1 caliber cornerback while playing in the nickel, right? He's played outside his entire career. He's essentially learning a brand new position, which is that nickel star position. And the question is, can you teach this old dog a new trick? And I think that it's going to work out well. Apparently, he's been playing well in OTAs and minicamp. Apparently, all the rookies that he's mentoring are really appreciative of everything that he's been doing, and he's been balling out on the inside, which is something that's very exciting for Steelers fans across the world. So let me know what you think of Patrick Peterson heading into 2023. Will he be over or under 4.5 interceptions next season? Type O if you think he's going to be over that number. If you think he's going to be under, type U for me down in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by giving me an O or a U down there in the comments. All right, now number 4 on my list, wide receiver Diontae Johnson. Now, DJ definitely had a disappointing 2022 campaign. You know, he was very, very good in terms of getting open, in terms of getting first downs, right? He was very highly ranked in those regards last season, but only 51.9 yards per game and then 0 touchdowns, which is definitely weird for Diontae because before 2022, he was a fantastic wide receiver when it comes to the production side of the game. 8 touchdowns in 2021, 7 in 2020. Of course, you know, he had over 100 receptions there in that 2021 season, where he also had over 1,100 yards. So DJ is still a very, very good wide receiver, and I think, you know, if he wasn't dealing with Mitchell Trubisky and Matt Canada earlier on in the year, and then a struggling Kenny Pickett for much of the season, I think he would have had a much better 2022 campaign. There was many instances on tape where either Trubisky or Pickett were not finding open Diontae Johnson streaking across the field, and you could see the frustration mount on DJ and his body language throughout the season. Now, is he a perfect wide receiver? No, he is not, which is why I think George Pickens has a very good shot at taking over that number one wide receiver role by the end of the 2023 season. But DJ is going to be coming into this year trying to prove that he is still a very, very good wide receiver in this league that's worth the money that he is getting paid, because quite frankly, the production last year did not back up the money that he is currently making under his current contract. He's going to be looking to prove that he belongs on this Steelers offense moving forward. So before I reveal the top three on my list here, go ahead and go to the Chat Sports website to get your hands on this awesome T-shirt combo for the Pittsburgh Steelers on the Chat Sports website right now. You can go chatsports.com/Steelers combo. You got the black short sleeve there with the Steelers helmet. And then I think perfect for summer here. I love wearing long sleeve shirts, but if you wear colorized long sleeves during the summer, you can get super hot and gross. But if you wear a white one, it's a lot more it's a lot more forgiving, I should say. So go ahead, go chatsports.com/Steelers combo. I think this is the perfect Steelers T-shirt combo for you this summer. Now, number three on my list of Steelers players with the most pressure on them heading into 2023 is running back Najee Harris, going into his third year in the black and gold. And right now, there's no more excuses for Najee Harris, the former member of the Crimson Tide. And because the offensive line has been completely rebuilt this year, you draft Broderick Jones, you trade up to go get Broderick there, and then you also sign Isaac Seumalo to really solidify that left side. I expect the Steelers are going to be running a lot to the left side of the field this year. And last year, he was definitely dealing with a nagging foot injury, which might have affected his overall production last season. Now he is fully healthy. I think this is a very crucial year for Double Dose to stay healthy and stay on the field. And then Matt Canada has said time and time again during OTAs and minicamp that this offense will not revolve around second-year quarterback Kenny Pickett. Rather, it will revolve around Najee, Jaylen Warren, and the Steelers' run game. And the Steelers are very successful running that type of offense behind Harris at the end of 2022, winning 6 of their final 7 games. Now, the reason why this year is so important for Najee, and the pressure is really on Harris this year, is because the Steelers are going to have to make a decision on him in terms of his fifth-year option. That we've seen a lot of teams really decline fifth-year options on their first-rounders this year. The 2020, or it would have been the 2020 NFL draft. It was like the all-time high of teams declining fifth-year options on their first-round rookies. So NFL teams are definitely getting more wary. They're getting less patient with their first-rounders. And right now, Najee Harris, based on what he's done in his first 2 years, might not be fully worthy of getting that fifth-year option. This is going to be the year for him to break out, and he needs to deliver the goods if he wants to solidify himself as the franchise running back moving forward and get the bag on his second contract here in the NFL. So let me know what you guys think about Najee Harris down in the comments section. Will he lead all Steelers skill position players, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, in total touchdowns this year? Give me a yes or give me a no. Let me know what you guys think about the Steelers running back down there in the comments. All right, number 2 on my list, Kenny Pickett, the sophomore quarterback, definitely coming into a very, very big year for his career, right? He's going to be coming into his second year now, and the improved offensive line should lead to better pass protection. And also, he has the weapons here with Diontae Johnson, George Pickens. He has enough talent around him now where there's no more excuses for Kenny Pickett. It's the same thing with Najee Harris, right? I think that Kenny Pickett going into this year, he's going to be age 25. He just got married, so congratulations to QB1. But, you take a look at the stats from last year. They are not good enough to be the long-term starter here in Pittsburgh, and they need to improve if he wants to solidify his role as the QB1 moving forward. 63% completion percentage, and when the Steelers were actually going on their run towards the end of the season, he was under 60% completion. So that's not exactly what you want to look for there. Just under 2,500 yards passing, 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. You want to see that flipped in a big way this year. And then 51.4 QB rating, which is an advanced analytic that ESPN produces, which was 20th in the National Football League. Not terrible, but it certainly needs to get better. And right now, I think this is really the year for Kenny Pickett because you drafted him to be essentially an NFL-ready quarterback at age 24. Last year, he's going to be coming in at age 25. This year, this is his year because the clock is ticking on these older quarterbacks. If you draft a guy like Justin Fields or Sam Darnold, when they're like 20 years old when you draft them, you can take 3 to 4 years to wait for them to develop. But a guy like Kenny Pickett, who was already 24 coming into the league, he gets about 2 years here. And especially because he's got the talent around him, he should have the offensive line that works well for him. This is definitely a year that he has to prove that he is the bona fide franchise quarterback for the Steelers moving forward. And if he doesn't do so, say the Steelers win 4 or 5 games this year and they're last in the AFC North, the Steelers need to look at potentially drafting another quarterback or trying to find another quarterback in free agency so they can take advantage of the great defense and the defensive pieces that they have on the roster right now. So for the record here, all right, so just because the stakes are high here doesn't mean that I'm not optimistic about Kenny Pickett's future. All the reports coming out of camp is that he's looking extremely sharp in drills. He's leading the team down the field in touchdowns, especially in the 2-minute drill, which is really what you want to see. I'm super excited for Kenny Pickett's sophomore year, but that doesn't change the fact that the stakes involved in this season for him is absolutely monumental, and if he fails to live up to the hype here, if he fails to come through here for Steelers Nation, it might end in him moving elsewhere here in 2024. So if you believe in Kenny Pickett this season, go ahead and like today's video. Really do appreciate all the support. But if you don't believe in Kenny Pickett, you think he's going to be a bust this year, let me know why down there in the comments section. I want to see what Steelers Nation is feeling about QB1 here. All right, and then finally, on my list, I think the person in the entire Steelers organization with the most pressure on them right now is offensive coordinator Matt Canada, and I don't think it's close. The offensive talent here that Omar Khan has kind of accumulated for Matt Canada, it just provides zero excuses for him, right? This has to be the year for Matt Canada after 2 years of very, very poor numbers and production from the Steelers offense. This offense needs to evolve, plain and simply. It was too vanilla. It was too predictable in 2022. It needs to take another step here. If Matt Canada fails to do that, he is going to be out, especially if the Steelers miss the playoffs here. And even if they make the playoffs and they just ride their way to the playoffs off the back of an elite defense, I still think there's a chance Matt Canada gets fired. But I think no matter what, if the Steelers are not in the postseason next year, Matt Canada's contract, which is in the final year right now, will not get renewed and he will be going elsewhere. The Steelers will have a new offensive coordinator in 2024. So take a look at the numbers from last year. These, plain and simply, need to get better. 26th in points scored, 27th in yards per play, which is a big Vegas stat, 19th in drive success rate, which is a very major a Sabre metric, and then also 7th on third down is fine, but it could still be a little bit better than 23rd in red zone. That definitely needs to get better this season. He needs to get more creative. He needs to stop with all the jet sweeps and the stop routes. He needs to modernize his offense in a big way heading into 2023 if the Steelers offense is going to be successful. And if Matt Canada can get this done here, I definitely think the Steelers could be even Super Bowl contenders heading into this season. But here's the bottom line on Matt Canada. It is playoffs or die for the offensive coordinator this year, plain and simply. And even if they make the playoffs, if they just squeak in with a bad offense and a good defense, he's probably still gone. So the pressure here is monumental. The offense has to really improve in a major way if he wants to stick around. If he fails to do so, he's going to be out the door. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Now that you've seen my list of which players have the most pressure on them heading into next season, let me know which Steelers player or coach you think is under the most pressure heading into 2023. Was I right on the money with Matt Canada, or do you think it's someone on the Steelers roster? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Thanks for sticking around to the very end of today's show, Yinzers. Really do appreciate all the support. I will see you guys later. Make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. And as always, here we go, Steelers.